Hey everyone, we now have Buster Keaton's fifth feature film, the 1925 silent comedy, Seven Chances. Now, James Shannon, as played by Buster Keaton, has been courting Mary Jones, Ruth Dwyer, for most of a year, but he can't quite bring himself to propose. Now, James is a stockbroker, but he and his partner, Billy Meakin, T. Roy Barnes, are in trouble, potentially facing jail time unless they can get their hands on some money. Now enter in James's grandfather's lawyer, Snitz Edwards, who tells him that he is set to inherit $7 million from his grandfather if he is married by 7 p.m. on his 27th birthday. Now that proves to be a problem, as the day he is told is his 27th birthday. So he immediately goes over to propose to Mary. Now at first she accepts until he fumbles over the reason and she turns him down. Despondent, he returns to his partner, who helps him try to propose to 7 women that they know at the country club. He fails, and so his partner decides to put an ad in the newspaper, which results in many women coming to the church to marry him. Meanwhile, Mary, after talking with her mother, Frankie Raymond, she decides to marry him anyways. But with all of that trouble, will the marriage happen in time, if at all? Now, the movie was apparently based on a stage comedy of the same name produced by David Belasco. Now, I've seen different statements about the success of the original play, but what hasn't differed in what I've read is that Buster Keaton had seen it and did not like it. However, his producer, Joseph Schenck, who was also related to him by marriage at that time, had paid a lot of money for the movie rights. And since Buster owed him money, he was stuck doing it. So he went along with it, but the film's most famous sequence, and Buster's main moment of actually being able to insert his own bit of creativity into the story, is the final bridal run sequence, with all the brides chasing after him through the city and the hills, culminating in a big rock slide. Now, the rock slide itself wasn't even originally planned. It was something that kind of came about after seeing the big reaction from a preview audience at Buster dislodging the rock that hit a few others, resulting in those chasing him. So, he went back and milked the idea, creating rocks of various sizes from chicken wire and paper mache, and he improvised from there. Now, it's been said that Buster considered this film to be one of his worst, and while I haven't seen a huge number of his movies yet, I will agree that it's definitely one of his weaker entries. It's definitely showing its age as a story, not to mention its less than politically correct moments, which makes it a bit tougher to watch. Now, at least one of the women he rejects appears to be Jewish, although for all we know, he may be rejecting her solely because she doesn't appear to speak English as opposed to her nationality. But another woman he rejects is black. Well, technically a white person in blackface, but the whole thing there could have been explained away, at least partly because of laws at that time prohibiting interracial marriages. But the tougher problem to get past, though, is the hired hand, played by Jules Cowles, who also appears to be wearing blackface. And that character is just way too many racist stereotypes to get past. Honestly, if not for the bridal run sequence at the end, I would have a very hard time recommending this movie for anything, but that sequence alone saves the movie, giving Buster a chance to do many of his pratfalls and run for ages without losing his breath. Honestly, it's not hard not to laugh at that point, as ridiculous as it gets. If only for that sequence alone, this is a movie worth seeing. Now, this movie is available on Blu-ray and DVD from Cohen Media Group, with the Battling Butler as a part of the Buster Keaton Collection, Volume 3. Now, this movie was originally filmed with the opening sequence in Technicolor, as they show the changing seasons to show how long Buster's character was courting, before switching to black and white for the rest of the movie. Now, with Cohen's transfer, the color barely comes through, although admittedly I'm not experienced enough with this movie to know how that section should look, and I know that the technology for color wasn't quite fully there yet, so I wouldn't exactly expect it to look quite like it was filmed yesterday color-wise. But during that section, the film elements really show their age and damage, particularly on the edges. However, once we get past that into the black and white section, well, he looks pretty darn good, and the main debate becomes whether you like the amber tint to the image or not. Personally, I don't mind, and with the second film in the set, I think it's definitely worth it for the price. But this movie itself is 57 minutes in length. Well, that's all I should have to say on this one, everybody, so thanks for listening, and I hope you'll keep coming back for more.